Oh, no, we're going. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome here. Council, try to imagine a world without integrity. If we remove this core value from science, engineering, leadership, commerce, law, education, news, religion, sports, you name it, they won't survive. Integrity sustains. It is the foundation upon which we can build life. Integrity provides a consistent, uncompromising, caring basis for living. And when credibility of character exists, so does the possibility for integrity. Integrity transcends culture, religious views, and social and economic differences. Integrity provides a foundation upon which we can build a better world. The most reliable foundation for society is integrity. If integrity lays a solid foundation for healthy living, then corruption erodes that solid foundation. If you destroy the foundation, then nothing that is built will last. Corruption undermines confidence in leaders, sustainable development, peak performance, delivery of healthcare services, implementation of policies, protection of the law, and trustworthiness of communication, and the reliability of faith. In a nutshell, corruption increases inequality, decreases accountability, and producing rising hardship. And the powerless and the poor experience the most grievous, harmful effects. About 3,000 years ago, a popular song contrasted the lives of two powerful men. The ancient chorus revealed the legacy and character of two Israel kings. Their life stories are narrated in Psalm 1. Blessed is the one who does not walk in the step of the wicked, or stand in the way the sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on this law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of waters, which yields fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows. Therefore the wicked will not stand in judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction. The difference between these two men is decisive. Saul lacked an accurate internal compass. He paraded a huge intention, but demonstrated little accomplishment. However, David's inner compass worked accurately. He courageously pursued achieving good. One man followed the counsel of integrity, while the other practiced the advice of corruption. One man trusted the direction of integrity, while the other subscribed to the ways of corruption. One man rested in the wisdom of integrity, while the other man foolishly scoffed at integrity. An indication of character is not the absence of mistakes. Indication of character is not the absence of mistakes, but how people respond when missteps are exposed. Saul excused his mistakes, avoided responsibility, and minimized behavioral change. Where David repented of his mistakes, accepted his accountability, and changed his behavior. He learned from his blunders. Saul's story ends with dishonor and fruitlessness, while David's story ends with honor and fruitfulness. As I close, I just want to share a story that is often told to Canadian engineering students. In 1887, a group of Quebec City entrepreneurs decided to increase local business by erecting a bridge over the St. Lawrence River. They formed the Quebec Bridge Company and selected a renowned American bridge designer named Theodore Cooper as the consulting engineer. Cooper had few equals in engineering. In February 1906, during Cooper's examination of the bridge drawings, he discovered a miscalculation. The weight of the manufactured steel far exceeded early estimates. By then, 6 anchor arm towers were in place, and rather than stop the project, Cooper decided to forge ahead, hoping the increased structural stress would be safe. Cooper depended solely on people at the job site, or at the site, to keep him informed. Then in June of 1907, Theodore Cooper received notice of an alignment errors on the bridge's southerly anchor arm. His telegraphed reply, "Make as good work of it as you can. It's not serious." By the end of August, the misalignment became critical. On the morning of August 29th, engineer Cooper sent an urgent telegraph, "Add no more load to the bridge until due consideration of the facts." He assumed the message was forwarded to the project foreman and believed the work on the bridge had stopped, but neither had happened. By that day at 5:36, the bridge collapsed. It took 15 seconds and claimed the lives of 75 workers. This engineering catastrophe resulted in the worst bridge disaster of Canadian history. Theodore Cooper slated the Quebec City Bridge as his final signature project. After a life of excellence in engineering, this bridge was to be his crowning achievement. The bridge would set the record for the longest structure of its kind. Instead of leaving a legacy of a strong bridge, he will be remembered to be responsible for the disaster. Some of us start well, but fail later on. The path of destruction often begins with self-confidence-born success. Forgetting your focus, abandoning your disciplines, and relaxing accountability and discontinuing growth are a sure recipe for finishing poorly. Council, it is my wish for all of us that we finish well. Thank you. Council, we have the agenda in front of us, and just before we have a motion to adopt, I'd like you to go to 9F, the bylaw 2161, the second reading. I'd like that to stroke that off the agenda. Looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Hebert. Any comments?
No.
Thank you. Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. We have the minutes of March 2nd, 2021, the regular council meeting. We've all had time to review. Looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Seaman, second by Councillor Penner. Any comments?
Nothing further.
Okay. Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Okay. It is just past 7:35, so we will go right to number 6, the public hearing. Conditional use CU 2021-01. This is referring to 199 Woodhaven Avenue. Mr. Worthing, could you please introduce this file?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is an application that is being made by the city of Steinbach on behalf of the city for a conditional use. This file is CU-2021-01 for LA Barkman Park in Steinbach. The purpose of the application is for council to consider that a dog park be situated on a portion of the subject property, which is more specifically the northwest corner, as you see in this supplementary information. As required by City of Steinbach zoning bylaw 2100, a dog park is a conditional use in the open space zone, and that's the purpose for the application. There is no written correspondence on the file. Recommendation from administration is that council approve the the conditional use application, and the construction would be subject to the city's approval of the 2021 capital program and budget.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Worthing. And at this time, I will close the council meeting, open the public hearing. Is there anyone here with questions, objections, or comments to this file?
Is the applicant here?
Yeah. Yeah, I told Lori, it'd be funny if I asked that today.
The applicant can't show up.
Okay, I'll ask one more time. Is there anyone here with comments, questions, or objections to this file? Okay, seeing none, we will at this time close the public hearing, open the council meeting. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Siemens.
Motion to approve.
Second by Councillor Zwijkstra. Go ahead, Councillor Siemens.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been many years. We've had, through different avenues, we've had requests for a dog park in Steinbach. And this would, this conditional use would allow that to happen within LA Barkman Park. Actually, LA Barkman Kinsman Park. And so we can then meet with those requests, and I think this is a good move for the city. And it would also be, its intent is to build it in this 2021 Capital Works program if we approve the budget later in the year.
Thank you, Councillor Siemens. Councillor Zwijkstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm happy to second the motion. As Councillor Siemens had mentioned, there have been many requests over the years, both during election years and non-election years, for the city to create a dog park. I think one thing that we've seen in municipalities is that dog parks have become an expected service within municipalities, and we of course see some municipalities in the area that have dog parks. So it makes sense for us to provide this service to the public, and that's how we look at it. We're providing an additional service to the people of Steinbach and of course their dogs at a good location. LA Barkman Park has the advantage of being accessible. It has the advantage of being in a location where we can provide water, and where obviously there already is park space that's available that can be used. There's plenty of parking there as well, so people who drive there will be able to park. And so when you consider all these things, and that this is just a good service, and I think it's appropriate that we move ahead with approving the conditional use.
Thank you. Anything further of council? Anything in closing?
No, sir.
Okay, council, we'll call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, council, it is just a few minutes before 7:45, so we'll go to number 9A, administration, accounts payable at the back of the book. We've all had a chance to look over, looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Hebert. Any comments?
Just the city paying its bills, it's good.
Anything further?
No comment.
Okay. Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Council 9B, we've got the building permits for February 2021 on page 18. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Penner?
Move to approve.
Second by Councillor Zwijkstra. Go ahead, Councillor Penner.
As we've noticed, this year's a good year, and that continues to carry on through this month, or this last month, I guess, and I'm just looking forward to how this is all going to play out.
Good. Anything further?
That's good.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing?
No.
Yes, council, we are having a great year. I think it was even last month we had beaten the entire first quarter of the year before. But again, we've seen some great development, very strong residential. We've got some commercial, industrial going on too this time. We're looking at a total just under $1.4 million, bringing our year-to-date total at just under 5.48. It's been an incredible year, and we're so thankful that developers are looking towards Steinbach and and seeing the benefit in developing and bringing and investing their dollars in our community. Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, council, it is now 7:45 and we have a delegation. We have the Steinbach Area and Animal Rescue. We'd like to invite them to come forward. Welcome here.
Thank you. Are we ready? Well, Mr. Mayor, City Council, thank you so much for the time allotted to us to present tonight. We want to expand and answer your questions that you may have on the application for a grant that was submitted by letter, I guess last week sometime or the week and a half ago, and then answer your questions. Michelle Neufeld is with me. She's the director and founder of the Steinbach Area Animal Rescue. And she's going to make some comments when I'm done on, I'm just going to lower this because my glasses are going to fog up and I'm going to be hooped if I can't read this. So she's going to make some comments on our facility, on the property we purchased recently, and moving forward. I'm relatively new to this board. I stepped back from the Steinbach Arts Council after 8 years and felt I needed a break. This was a natural fit for me though, because I've been involved with animal rescue and welfare for my whole life. All of my dogs and cats are rescue animals, and I firmly believe in that process and that program. So this really was a natural fit. We're a nonprofit organization. We're called to assist with animals that are found or dropped off or lost in the city of Steinbach and in the surrounding rural municipalities. 7 years ago, this rescue was formed and founded by a group that identified there was a need to step up and help these types of animals. So they, I guess they founded it over a kitchen table, over Michelle's kitchen table, and moved forward from there. It's grown from a grassroots organization to one where we're now hoping to build a 3,000 square foot facility in the next little while. And hopefully that's going to allow us to expand the services that we provide to the community and to the surrounding area even more so. The need still exists. In 8 years, it hasn't gone down. The numbers haven't gone down. In 2020, we took in 48 animals from the city of Steinbach. We were called to assist, and we took in to care 48 animals, dogs and cats. 2 of the cats that we took in were pregnant, and as a result of that, had 12 kittens. So we also took those animals in as well. So we ended up with 60 animals from the city of Steinbach. Every single animal that we take in gets completely vetted, gets shots, and arrangements are made for spay neutering if that's necessary. This is at a cost to us on average of about $300 to $350 per animal. So for 2020, and the animals that we only took in from the city of Steinbach, we spent $18,000 vetting, spaying, and neutering those animals before attempting to rehome them with an adoption family. those numbers, the $350 or $300 to $350, that's the normal cost. It doesn't take into account any animals that require further care than just vetting, neutering, and the shots. For example, today, we took in 2 cats that were turned over to us from Clear Spring Vet Clinic. One of them had to have its eye removed, a surgery that we cover the cost of at a cost of about $500. The other one had a broken leg. The owner couldn't afford to pay for the surgery to fix the leg, so he wanted to euthanize it. Vet didn't want to euthanize it, so they called Steinbach Animal Rescue. We've taken that cat into care now. That surgery or amputation, whichever is decided, is going to cost the rescue $600 to do. So the $300 is an average cost, but there are so many animals that we take in that require more than just the normal. So our cost is much more than that. I've seen, since I've been involved in the board, and it's only been a very short time, I think 2-3 months maybe at the most, when you see on social media, you see this dog's been hanging around my property, or these cats were dropped off at the end of my driveway, or that kind of thing, and you read the comments that follow that feed, and invariably someone will say, "We'll call Michelle at Steinbach Rescue." So although we're not an animal control, by no means are we an animal control organization, people know that from all over that if they call us, that we generally will take the animal in and try to deal with whatever needs to be done. Our ask in this grant is for $20,000. That's $20,000 towards our building fund. Michelle is going to talk about the building and that, but a new facility in the city of Steinbach will allow us to better coordinate and expand our neutering program, spay-neutering program, coordinate programs with the vets where maybe people can bring their animals in and get them spayed or neutered and at a reduced cost than what it normally would cost. It'll allow us to assist perhaps the city with pet registration and microchip identification. It will allow us to provide education on pet care to high school kids, to public school kids. And it'll allow us to establish an awareness program of what these animals need and the responsibility that there is once you own a pet. I feel passionate about this because for me, my dogs and cats are my family, just like family. They live in my house. They're not tied up outside. They're better fed sometimes than I am, although looking at me, you wouldn't know it. And so they're like family to me, and that's how I treat them, and that's how my wife treats them. Before I conclude and turn it over to Michelle, I had a tradesperson in my house 2 or 3 weeks ago doing some work for me, and we got talking about animal rescue and the Steinbach Animal Rescue Organization. And he said, "Why do you do that? Like, why worry about it? Why do you do it?" And my answer was, because we are their voice. For every box where there's a cat and 6 kittens found on the side of the highway, we are their voice. For that dog that's wandering in the back of your property that has no home or is lost or was dropped off, we're their voice because no one else will speak up for them. So that's why I do it. I believe that's why anybody that's in the rescue business does it. And at the end of the day, it's rewarding. So I hope that you will see the need and the the tremendous input that we have in the city and the things that we do for the city with this organization, and see fit to allow us to complete this shelter and build a shelter that's going to help all over for a very long time. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. I don't have a whole lot to say about the actual building because you guys have our preliminary plans already. They have been tweaked a little bit. We have expanded the size. We needed a little bit larger. Recently, we've gotten a grant from Liberal Cree RM, and they want to utilize our space as well. So that's why we kind of made it a little bit bigger. So, yeah, I guess Graham has pretty much said it all. So I think we'll just kind of go on to the question aspect of it.
Council, are there any questions of the presenters? Doesn't seem to be any questions at this time.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much for your presentation. I want to thank you for what you do in our community and the surrounding area. And I'm under the impression you guys do work with RAMs, though?
Yes, we do. Yeah, and they are like essentially when we get calls from animals that need to be picked up in Steinbach, we tell them to call RAMs.
Okay.
Just because we know RAMs is working for you, right?
Right.
And then we take the animals from RAMs if we have enough space.
Okay.
Graham was saying the amount of animals that we took in for 2020, that's just a small portion of the actual calls we get because we don't have enough space, hence the need for an actual building.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much again. And what I will say is that we are the budget for 2021 will be we're working through that. It's been finalized. We'll be in the process of approving it in a couple of weeks now. So what we can do with this is we can bring this forward to our next planning session, our study session, which would be, I believe that's usually in July.
Okay.
And then we can take that and we can review this material at that time, and then we can make a decision on that
Okay.
at that time. Okay.
Great.
And that's at this point that we do appreciate what you do, and we do see it as valuable to us. But that's what we can do right now for you because of the fact that we're coming to the end of the budget cycle, and our budgets are balanced. There's actually, once our budget is planned, there's no room to pull around with it, right? So this will have to go to our next budget planning, which is July. But yeah, we will definitely take this information with us, and we'll go do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks for letting us speak. Okay.
Hey, thank you. Okay, council, we go to 9C. That is business licenses. We're looking for a resolution to approve on page 19. They seem to all be in order. Councilor Penner, second by Councilor Siemens. Any comments?
No comments.
Any further? Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, Council 9D. We have to appoint the weed inspector. It's on page 20. And there's a resolution here to appoint Trevor Schellenberg as the noxious weed inspector. Looking for a motion to approve. Councilor Hebert. Second by Councilor Zwigstra. Any comments?
No comments.
Anything further?
Good.
Okay. Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, council, we are on 9E. This is bylaw 2160. We're going into third reading. It starts on page 21. And Mr. Workington, could you please introduce this file?
Mayor, this bylaw 2160 is the local improvement bylaw and plan with respect to the Brandt Street Underground Renewal Project that has been proceeding and the city anticipates to complete in this year's construction program. The municipal board has considered the city's application and bylaw and has given it approval, and it is now recommended for council to give this local improvement plan third reading.
Okay, council? We're looking for a motion to approve third reading. Councillor Swagstra,
Move for third reading.
second by Councillor Siemens. Go ahead, Councillor Swagstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is for the reconstruction of the water main and line, the sewer main on Brandt Street between First Street and Lumber Avenue. Obviously, as a council, we continue to prioritize our underground infrastructure renewal, and this, of course, is one of our older parts of the city. The half of the cost of $2.4 million is being borrowed, and so that had to be approved by the municipal board. The municipal board has approved it, and so we are now able to move forward. So half of it will be paid for by borrowing, and the other half will come from a combination of our utility reserve and utility operating funds.
Anything further, Councillor Siemens?
Just a little bit further, Mr. Mayor, is I agree with that we need to move forward, and in this budget year, Brandt Street, the last time we did any underground renewal, when it was completed from 2-lane to 4-lane, I believe, and also we have had a lot of fortunate, all the different construction that we've done over the last number of years on our main highways, and this including this highway. The traffic flows and so on have been managed very well by the engineering firms and the construction firms that we've had. So I look forward to that again this year, that if approved in our final budget, numbers are in that this will happen this year.
Thank you. Anything further of council? Anything in closing? Council, call for the question. All those in favor? And that is carried. That's third reading. Okay, we'll go to 9G, Subdivision 4451, 2021, 8397. This is referring to 8694 Industrial Road. It starts on page 40. Mr. Workman, could you please introduce this file?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this application for subdivision is being made by the city of Steinbach on behalf of the Steinbach Community Development Corporation. The purpose is to create two industrial lots along Industrial Road for purposes of future development. The lots to be created will be of 2 acres and approximately 2.5 acres in size. There is general comments from community and regional planning that for the most part has no concerns. With respect to the application, recommendation for council is to approve the application for subdivision.
Thank you. How would you like to proceed, council? Councillor Hebert? Motion to approve, okay. Seconder, Councillor Pinner. Go ahead, Councillor Hebert.
As administration has said, this is one lot being divided into two. It's obvious that subdivisions like that are market-driven, and there's a need for that in our community, and I look forward to buildings going on those lots.
Thank you. Anything further?
Nothing further.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing, council?
No.
Okay, we'll call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. We've got 9H. This is a tax sale resolution. On page 76 is where it starts. Mr. Workman, could you please introduce this file?
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution that is required when the city has determined that it is time to proceed with a tax sale process. This is not something that the city does very often. I believe the last tax sale process the city initiated was in 2000. But this will designate accounts with arrears for at least 5 years to be included within the city's tax sale process. So recommendation is for council to approve the resolution.
Thank you. Okay, council, looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Swagstra,
I'll make the motion to approve.
second by Councillor Hebert. Go ahead, Councillor Swagstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, just before I give my comments, could I just ask a clarification from the city manager? Like, how many properties are we talking about here that could that are included within this? Because obviously this is not something we do very often.
No. To my knowledge, there is one property that is subject to tax sale process. However, under provisions of the Municipal Act, if the city does not proceed to collect the arrears of taxes which have been outstanding for a period of 5 years, the city will lose the opportunity to collect those taxes if it doesn't proceed with the tax sale.
Just to follow up, then I'll do my comments. So just to clarify then, so obviously this is our way of making sure the taxes are paid, that if it's in arrears to this point, then the property can be sold and then we collect the taxes?
That's correct. There is a process. There is significant public notice and administrative procedures required.
Okay.
But in the event the owner chooses not to take care of the outstanding tax amount, there is an auction process for the city to recover its amount owed.
Okay, well, I guess I'll give thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll give my comments now. I just wanted to make sure that I had that clarified because, as the city manager noted, we don't do this very often. This is not something that happens on a regular basis. This would be the first time that I've been on council that we've had this particular resolution. And obviously, it is important that taxes get paid, and it's unfortunate when it reaches a point where there is an unpaid bill of that amount that goes on for that long. But that is sort of an option that municipalities have is to designate tax sales in this way. And so again, it's unfortunate it comes to this point, but it is a mechanism the city has, and we do have to make use of that opportunity.
Thank you, Councillor Swaystra. And Councillor Hebert, anything further?
I'd just like to add that hopefully we can resolve this without a tax sale at the end of the day.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing?
No.
Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, council, are there any questions of council at this time? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to number 11, correspondence and petitions. 11A, we have the Minister of Municipal Relations referring to a grant approval for gear extractor, washer and dryer as for our fire department. Council, would you like to proceed? Take this as information. Okay. We also have 11B. This is another letter from Minister Derek Johnson. This is the grant approval for self-contained breathing apparatus replacement. Council, how would you like to proceed? Take it as information. Okay. And Council, 11C, we've got the Junior Achievement Manitoba request for funding. How would you like to proceed? Take it as information at this time. Okay, thank you. There's no other business. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Penner. Any comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Next regular council meeting is Tuesday, April 6th, 2020 at 7:30. Thank you.